Hi darling, you're welcome back to my channel. I'm still your darling Sophie. So if you're just stopping by my channel for the very first time, why don't you see yourself as a VIP, because you're very very important to me. Oh yeah, you're part of the reason why I'm here, and I love you so very much. Thank you so much for coming in, and please join the family by clicking the subscribe button there, and then be my darling, because I pray for my darlings every day. Oh yeah, I do. So to all my returning subscribers, a very big thank you to you for coming back to show me this love one more time. Oh yes. And don't forget, I still pray for you every day. Yes, I pray for you that lines fall in pleasant places for you, and that God makes your days as beautiful as you're making mine by supporting me. Oh yeah. So sweetheart, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, why don't you click the subscribe button there and support your darling, because it's totally free of charge. You know, nobody charges you or does any money from your account just by clicking that subscribe button. And when you click the subscribe button, you also get notification whenever I upload a new video. You see? So my darling, go ahead and click that subscribe button, please, 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 please. Alright, enough of that already. So darling, today there's something that I want us to discuss, although it's not going to be more like a discussion, because you and I are not here to talk, but I want it to be a discussion because I want to hear what you think in the comment section down below. And also, don't know me or feel bad over anything I'm going to say. Don't forget that the whole aim of the channel is we talking about the realities of life. Oh yeah, that's why the name of the channel is Life Reality Walkway. So in this channel, I'll be bringing you guys contents on reality talk show. Okay, so and I'm here again to give you one of those reality talk and things you must do or know before you commit your life to someone in marriage. Before you really say I do, there are things that I would love you to do before you do that. Because darling, you see, marriage is a lifetime program. It's not a project that has a time fixed already for it to end. No, it is a lifetime commitment. It is a lifetime ongoing program, not a project. Okay? So you need to be prepared for this. You need to know what you're committing your life into, what you're committing your future into. You need to know what you're committing your life level into, your health and everything about you. You really need to know what it entails. What's your guarantee? What's your insurance? That is all we're gonna talk about here today. So chill, relax, because your darling here is going to tell you the truth about the realities. Oh yeah, some of the realities that married couples are facing even as we speak. So I really want to bring your mind to them. Please relax. Like I said, I'm not here to threaten you about marriage. I'm not here to, make you see marriage as one life-threatening thing. No, 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 no. Marriage is sweet, and I want you to enjoy it. But I need you to be more prepared for it if you haven't really settled down. And if you have settled down and you're watching this, please share this video. Share it with your friends, because you never can tell who you will be helping to prepare better. I'm sure if you love people, you wouldn't want them to repeat the same mistakes that you probably must have made, or you're doing it right. So why don't you still share the video and let people learn? Okay, so this video is strictly for people that are not yet married. And if you're already married and after watching this video you feel there is need for you to revisit your marriage terms and conditions, of course, feel very much welcome to do that, because as long as there is life, there is always time to correct your mistakes. Yeah, there is. So today, darling, like I said, we'll be talking about things that you must do before you say the word I do, before you commit your life to someone. Good. Who knows me very well will know that I am a love apostle. Oh yeah, I believe in love marriages. I believe love should be the foundation of every marriage. It is very, very important. I believe that so much. But darling, I don't want you to go into marriage with blind love, because oftentimes you say that love might not be enough. Even the married couples, have you ever heard that people fall in and out of love in marriage? Oh yeah, it does at times. So let me tell you, there are times in marriage when love isn't enough. There are times in marriage that you see some factors influencing the peace of the union, influencing the couple. It could be family members or other problems popping up here and there, and if the couples are not true to themselves, they get influenced, and that becomes the end of the marriage. So why don't you sit back and let's have this discussion? If you have anything to say at the end of the talk, go ahead and let me know your points in your mind in the comment section down below. So darling, let's talk about it. You and I, let's talk about it. The number one thing on my list is running a background check on your supposed in-laws to be. Yeah, running a background check on the family that you are about to get married into. As a man or as a woman, you need to know the family you are committing yourself into very well. Because you find out that when you're married, oh yeah, of course, you, your wife, and your children are the immediate family. But you find out that there are other extended families. So you have your in-laws, okay? And whether you want to accept it or not, these people want to be part of that, your family. Now, you are not going to call them out because, of course, I've always said it. Don't always despise the fact that your spouse has a roots. He or she has a family, and you have to welcome them. You have to, show them love too. You are not marrying off their daughter or their son to kiss goodbye to them and send them to hell. No. I don't encourage them, and I don't preach that, and I'm not even ready to practice that. But see, my darling, there is a need for you not to allow yourself be blinded by love, as not to run a background check on the family you are going to be part of tomorrow. You see, some families have some histories that have happened that often repeats itself in the forthcoming generations and repeats itself often. If you're a Christian, I'm sure you know how to deal with some of these family histories. And believe me, if you want to get blinded by love and just rely on what your love or what your fiancé tells you, I'm not saying he or she's going to lie to you. Of course, the person might be an honest person to tell you the whole truth about his or her family. Good. But believe me, there might be scenarios that will make your fiancé to be selfish enough not to allow you have the full knowledge of his or her family. And tell me, what are you going to do at the end when you get to know that and you know that this is not really the kind of family you want to be part of? This is not really like the ideal family you want to be joined to. Or you get to know that your in-laws are not really the kind of in-laws you want to have. Of course, as long as there is life, there's always the possibility of changing people with love. But there are quite exceptions, There are quite exceptions. There are people that no matter how love you show them, they are not ready to change. They are just bad to the core. Now, quote me right, I really don't call people bad outrightly. But I say that a person is bad when the bad side of a person dominates his or her good side. I categorize that person as a bad person because I do believe that nobody is totally bad and nobody is totally good. Oh yeah. But when your bad side dominates your good side, as long as I'm concerned, I categorize you as a bad person. And I'll know how to, mingle with you as a bad person. Because when you're dining with the devil, you really don't need to dine with the devil with a very short spoon. No, you do that with a very long spoon so that you can have a way of escape for yourself. Alright, still talking about running a background check on your supposedly to be family or your prospective family or prospective in-laws. This is very, very important. Because oftentimes in the marriage, you find out that these people, like I said earlier, are going to be part of your life too. So there is need for you to know more about them and be prepared for future. For instance, if you're going out and you know that there is a possibility that it's going to rain, what do? Of course, you go out with an umbrella. If it rains, good and fine, you're protected from the rain. And if it doesn't rain, it's not that windy, you can always go back home and eat, right? That is just what I'm talking about. So if you have good knowledge of this family, you will know how best to make your decision about marrying their son or their daughter. I'm not saying that this could possibly change your decision. Of course, it can in some cases. There are some things that you will hear and you know that you are not prepared for this. You walk away and kiss goodbye. It's not every engagement that must end in marriage. I often tell people that a broken engagement is far, far better than a broken marriage. It is better for you to have a broken engagement. It doesn't matter how many times than having a broken marriage. For instance, myself, I know before I actually say I do now wearing this wedding ring, I wore not less than 3 engagement rings. Okay? Which is not even from my husband. So what I'm trying to say is this. It is better to have a broken engagement than to have a broken marriage. So it is also a very good thing to do, that you get to know this family and then sit yourself down and be sure that you have what it takes to win them with love. Or if you feel that your love is not strong enough to win them, you walk away on time than to, answer divorcee or separated. That's what I'm talking about, darling. Because I don't want you to cry in your marriage. Because I don't want to see you sulking. Because I don't want to see you facing some horrible characters that you cannot be able to win with love. No matter the love that Jesus Christ has shown forth and put practically that every Tom, Dick, and Harry says, has it made the devil to change? No. The devil hasn't changed yet, and he's not even ready to repent even tomorrow. Even if Jesus comes and dies 1,000 more times, devil will never repent. So take it from me, there are people that you will never be able to win with love. But knowing about these people can make you, know if you're really able to go on with the marriage or back out. That is what I'm talking about. Don't forget, a broken engagement is far better than a broken marriage. Alright? The number 2 on my list is making sure that union is legitimate. My darling, oftentimes I see people committing their life to, union that doesn't have legitimacy. See, it's so easy to give birth to illegitimate children. But are you that insensitive not to even care about the future of those kids and your own future? Now, I want to tell you some things. I'm going to tell you a brief story. I'll try and make it very brief so that you can understand what it means to have a legitimate union. It's not enough. Giving birth to illegitimate children is so easy and is one thing anybody can choose to. There are many names that have been coined out for it these days. But I want to tell you something. If you are going to commit your life to someone in the name marriage, oh my darling, you need to have an insurance. You need to have a security, especially as a woman. As a woman, you need to be sure that this union is legitimate enough, because your life, your body, your future, everything about you is going to be centered in it. And women and children are most vulnerable in broken marriages. Okay? When marriage fails, the people that suffers it the most are the women and the children. So having a legitimate marriage gives you a kind of guarantee and protection as a woman. It gives you and your children protection. I want to tell you something. Before I actually, got married, during the preparation, when we were actually preparing for our wedding, a very close relative, attacked me on having our marriage registered. We're trying to register the marriage. Actually, it was the church protocol. It wasn't as if it was something I asked my husband to do. No, it was part of the church protocol. I was even thinking that maybe after it all, my husband wouldn't go on with the wedding, but I waited and I didn't hear anything about my husband. Oh, Father, thank you for giving me such a man that is man enough, to make the right decisions. Oh yeah, he has always been man enough in making the right decisions. Yeah. So even after that attack, I tell you, we went ahead with the marriage registration and get our wedding properly. It was a legitimate marriage. Though at a point when we were facing the protocols, the church protocols, I got, so upset and weak at a point that I was telling my husband, let's go back. I was trying to impart that advice that I didn't concur to initially. I was trying to, just fall for it because my work was at stake at the time, and we have been, frequenting. I was actually the one on the road, traveling here and there, getting all the documents ready. And at a point, I was like, this protocol is time demanding. Maybe we should just, sign up for that advice initially. But my husband said no. That we must observe every protocol to the last one, and we did. But you know what? When this fellow, that person that was against us getting a marriage registered, when she finally want to get married, do you know the first thing she did? She rushed off to the court and get her marriage registered. So imagine if I had fallen for her advice and then just got married like she wanted, she was saying it just to get a pastor and get us wedded. So imagine if I had listened to her, probably by now I would have been in a marriage without security, in a marriage and without insurance, and then by now I'll probably be feeling deceived, But thank God I didn't fall for that advice. And that means it's not every advice you should take if you really want to get married. Know what is good for you, know what you want, and go for it, my darling. It's not every advice that is suitable for you. Some people will give you advice based on their selfish reasons. They might have underlying selfish reasons why they are giving a particular advice to you, and you wouldn't know, you just fall for it. So it is very important to be careful the advice you take when you're preparing for your wedding. I'm talking about getting your union legitimate. It's very, very important. Okay, now in the country, Nigeria, we are in, and I don't know if it is the same with every other country, but you can find out how things work well in your country, making sure that your union is legitimate. For instance, in Nigeria, we have basically two types of marriage. We have the customary marriage, and of course the Marriage Act, that's marriage registry, the statutory marriage. Now, you need to understand the difference between these two, okay? The statutory marriage is the marriage that you do either in the court or you celebrate it in a church that is licensed by the courts to officiate weddings properly. Now, this is the only kind of marriage that guarantees an insurance or security for the women and the children. Perhaps anything happens, that is the only time that you can say that your future is guaranteed or insured a little. Good. Now, coming to the customary marriage. Customary marriage, that is where the traditional wedding falls, the Islamic marriage falls, and some church marriages, I say. Some church marriages, because it's not all churches that are authorized to conduct legitimate weddings. So, if a church is not a licensed church for proper weddings, they are just solemnizing your wedding and joining your people together, but the marriage is not legitimate. Oh yeah. So you need to be sure, if you want to sign up for just church wedding, you need to be sure that the church is a licensed church, registered or permitted by the state to conduct weddings. Otherwise, what you're just doing is customary marriage. Now, customary marriage is a polygamous kind of marriage. This kind of marriage permits the man to take as many wives as he wishes in future. And trust me, you're committing yourself to this kind of marriage alone, meaning that this man has every right to walk out and get as many wives as he wishes, and you will still stay in that marriage. He didn't do you any bad. It is an agreement. It is something you're committing yourself into. So when it happens, you don't see this man that as if he has treated you bad or unfair. Okay? So anything traditional marriage alone, Islamic marriage, church weddings not conducted by licensed churches falls under customary marriage. There is no security for such marriage. Statutory marriage is strictly monogamous marriage. You need to understand these differences. And don't forget that statutory marriage is the only marriage act that guarantees an insurance for you as a woman and your children too. Now I'm going to tell you two different stories for you to understand where I'm going to. Now this case differs because at times you find some responsible man that goes all out to prepare for their family, their wife and their children. They goes all out, whatever it takes to secure their future and secure their lives. I say responsible men because not all married men are responsible. Okay? When you get married to a crooked man, you don't expect him to do everything. He can give you excuses for every necessary thing to do. I'm not surprised to hear lots of married people that have not even changed their nest of kin in their banks, and they have clocked 10 years, 15 years in marriage. And they are blaming it on time. No time to do that. No time to do this, baby. No time to do this. My friend was telling me that, those people, their marriage is over 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 12 years or more. And she was telling me that up till now, that the husband hasn't changed his nest of kin. He keep blaming it on lack of time, that he hasn't been chanced enough to do the necessary thing. But I told my friend, relax, chill, don't worry yourself. Because even banks are no longer stupid. They now know that some men take women for fools. You toy with them, you suffer with them, you raise children for them, you give them everything, and at the end, they want to make fool of you. Should anything happen, they want you and these children to suffer. They want to stage a battleground for the children and their family members over what both of you labored for. Okay? That is why I say they are not responsible enough, because a responsible man will prepare his family. Yes. I am not wishing any woman to be a widow, because that is practically the worst thing that can happen to any woman, to be a widow. So I pray you grow old with the husband of your youth, that all you guys labor for, you will live to enjoy it, even at your old age, in Jesus' name. But there is need for you as a man watching this video to sit up and start doing the right thing. Prepare your life, prepare your family. Secure that family you're claiming you love. Have you done the right thing? Like I was saying, banks are no longer stupid. Banks no longer give out, inheritance under their care. They no longer give it out just like that to the nest of kings, because they know that most men don't do the right thing. So they definitely will advise you to go to court, and whatever the court decides is what banks do. So whether he's using his mother for his nest of kin, or using his brother or any of his sisters for nest of kin, that shouldn't worry you at all. Should anything happen, if your marriage is legitimate, go to court and you will get the justice you deserve. It may take time though, but I assure you, you are going to get the justice you deserve. I'm making this video and I'm feeling so sad about it. Last 2 weeks or thereabout, I ran into an old neighbor and she was telling me the ordeal of one of our old neighbors too. This woman lost her husband, who sorry, her supposedly husband, because all of us were looking at it that they were real husband and wife, but we don't know that they are just Abuja couple, like they say. I haven't heard that word until until the discussion popped up. They said it's Abuja couple. All right, what they mean by Abuja couple, two people cohabiting, and then in the process they start, bringing forth illegitimate children, and before you know it, everybody begins to call them husband and wife, and so they becomes husband and wife in the eyes of the world, but in the real sense of it, they are not husband and wife. So that's what they call Abuja couple. All right. So in case you hear Abuja couple tomorrow, that's what they mean. They are not legitimately married. They were just cohabiting, and in the process, they have illegitimate children. Okay. So back to the story that I want to tell you. This, my neighbor and the supposedly husband, they have 3 kids together. They were both working, and in the eyes of the world, all of us, we see them as a couple. Now, this neighbor was telling me that man died, and I felt so bad to hear that the man is late. And then she was telling me what his brothers, his family did to that woman. They have a house. They bought, the so-called couple, they are landlord in Abuja. They have a house. Now, the family claimed the house, claimed the money in the bank, and this is the money that both of them were working for, saving together. They claimed everything, and they were practically telling the woman, give a proof that their son married you. But the woman has no proof. She doesn't have any proof. So, for how many years of her life, she foolishly labored to build what she cannot even call her own at the sight of problem. She was pushed away with her children, her illegitimate children, out of the house she labored for, out without the money. She was part of the labor. Do you understand what I'm talking about? There is need to get that union legitimate. There is need. If you're a man watching this, if you feel you love that woman in your life, she has given you a child, or you guys are married and are yet to have a child, if you feel you love her, you should be able to be her man, be her head indeed. You should be the roof over her head, now and even when you're dead. Secure her life, secure the life of her children that she bear for you. Secure her being with you. Give her the security she needs. You need to be her security from your family, because the truth is that most of these men knew that they have very horrible siblings, very, very horrible siblings. And they knew quite alright what their siblings are capable of doing should in case anything happens. Now, let's stop talking about death for a while, because everything is not even dead. What about if anything happens? Because some of these family members, they know how to choke marriages. Yeah, they know how to intrude. They know how to poke nose, and they know how to, cause unpeaceful moments in marriages. So what if the couple are not wise enough, or their love bond is not strong enough to contend all those unpeaceful moments that the in-laws are just inflicting on marriage, and something happens and the marriage, shatters? As a woman, what do you think you're going out with? I don't want to go on and on telling you stories, because I have another story of a woman that had misunderstanding with her husband, and guess what? The in-laws invaded her home, packed everything in that house, took her children and left her alone in an empty house. she can't fight for herself because she doesn't have proof. She's wedded. Oh yeah, but it was just like a wedding that a pastor was contracted to join them. It wasn't a legitimate wedding per se. The in-law, the sister-in-law came in with the husband. They packed practically everything with the mother-in-law and left her in an empty house. They are with her children. She is staying alone in an empty house. So my darling, things are happening. And that is why you should be after going into a legitimate marriage. You should know what you're working hard for. You should know what you're laboring for. Now, let me tell you, being pregnant and giving birth, they are life-threatening. And if you want to go through all these processes, you should know what you're looking up for. You should know what you're working out for. It could be you dying. Then be sure that at least you died leaving something for your children. You died honorably. Not that you died and your children will be called daughter or son of the other woman. You know what it means? Because you were not a legitimate wife. So, my darling, before you commit your life to someone, I want you to make sure that marriage is properly registered. Take the pains, do whatever it takes and get that marriage registered. The money to do this cannot be compared with the money you used to, fix the celebration. It can't be compared with the money you spend on food and drinks and other things. So why don't you get the foundation right first before you start feasting? Yeah, get the foundation right before you start feasting. Now I want to tell you a story that can make you understand the benefits of having a legitimate wedding. I grew up in the eastern part of Nigeria. I actually grew up in Enugu. Yeah, I was born and brought up in Enugu. Now, in our area in those days, there was this couple that everybody looks forward to because they were, having this peaceful life and a very prosperous life. And their kids too were doing well. But do you know what? Devil struck in and that man died. He had an accident and died. But guess what? Rumors had it that the in-laws were coming to claim this woman's things. That they were coming to claim their brother's stuff. Yeah. So luckily for this woman, she got wind of these plans through one of her husband's cousins who called her to tell her this is what he heard. So in case it happens, that she should just remove whatever she feels is going to be important to her in the house before the cousins comes, that the cousins are coming over to take their brother's stuff. This woman has sons and have daughters. I mean, some of them were our schoolmates then. Okay? Now, talking about this woman went out. I don't know whether she bribed the police or something, but she had the police informed of the matter. Eventually, it wasn't a rumor that the cousin brother told her because her brother-in-laws and the sister-in-laws invaded the house and started packing things. In fact, the brother-in-law was about driving out the husband's car when the police came in, got him arrested the sisters in the house, and all of them were put in custody. They were jailed. Let me not say jailed, but should I say they were imprisoned or something? Yeah. For more than a week, the mother-in-law and the father-in-law kept calling her, begging her to talk to the police to release their son and their daughters. And she kept asking them where were they when their children came to invade her house and carry what she and her husband labored for. Don't they know that their son have children? He has sons, he has daughters. Don't they know that those children will be cared for? Are they not bothered about how she's going to survive? She is the one that lost so much. She lost her husband. They're supposed to be her life partner, her life hero. And these people are after that selfish gain. People always want to eat where they did not sow. They want to eat, and some of them, when they get this inheritance, they squander it. They can't use it for anything useful. Yeah, they squander it. You know how people spend money that they don't work hard for? Yeah. So she was angry, and she told them that until she decides what she wants to do with them, that they are not going to get bail. They started sending people, they were sending people out to go and beg her to get their daughter and the son released. And she said, hell no. That the old mother-in-law and father-in-law were there, and they were aware of what their children came out to do at that particular day. They permitted it. Now they are begging her to get them released. She said that they're not going to get bailed until she decides what to do with them, because they invaded her house. She sued them. She went to court. She has a marriage certificate. She has everything to back up what she was doing. She didn't run off to their son. She didn't run off. She was properly married. So, my darling, you can only have a case when you have proof. But when you don't, you will be looking pitiable. You will have little or no case. It will just be dismissed, So you need to make sure that marriage is registered. Yeah, get it registered. I am not telling you that you are going to, have an unpeaceful marriage. No. Like I said earlier, marriage is sweet. Marriage is one of the best things that can happen to anyone. But you need to be prepared, my darling. Yeah, you need to. You need to be prepared about some unforeseen circumstances that can pop up. Because the truth is that some of these in-laws, you can't predict what they can do. Yeah, you can't. Like I said earlier on, it's not everybody you can win with love. So when you try winning them with love and it doesn't work, oh God, remember that up till now, God hasn't been able to win the devil over with love. And devil is not even ready to repent, even till tomorrow. So don't put it in your head that you're going to be able to win everybody with love. No. It's not going to happen. But I pray for you that you will be able to win every battle you will ever face in life in Jesus' name. Amen. Because the Bible said that when a man's way pleases the Lord, that he makes his enemies to be in peace with him. So I pray you find the favor of God that will give you the favor of your in-laws and make them love you as you should be loved, and make them regard you as a woman in your house. In Jesus' name, amen. Because the truth is that there are in-laws that they are never able to give honor to whom honor is due. They have their reasons. They have their selfish reasons. And you need to get this at the back of your head. Okay? I'm just talking to you as a friend because you're my darling. I'm not trying to get you scared, and I want you to be prepared for marriage and know what it entails and what it can look like. Okay? It can go on smoothly for you, that you will have in-laws that will love you and will even be the one protecting you from your very own husband. Yes, I've seen in-laws like that. I've seen a mother-in-law that came right into the house, seeing that the son is not treating her daughter-in-law the way she should be treated. You know what? She scolded the son. Yeah. In fact, I heard the story. I could not even believe it myself. She told the son that if your father was treating her like this, you wouldn't have grown up to know her as a mother. That she would have walked out of the marriage a long time ago, even before he grew up to call her mother. that is not the way a woman should be treated, that a woman is meant to be cherished and loved. Why will you treat a woman that gave her life up to bear your children bad? She snapped. She was angry, just that kind of anger that Jesus expressed when he ran straight into the temple and drove away the people, turning his father's house into a marketplace. There's that kind of holy anger. That woman expressed it. She outrightly corrected her son. Never you treat your wife like this. In fact, when my friend was telling me what her mother-in-law did, I was marveled, and at the end of it, I couldn't just help clapping, that I'm happy I could hear this kind of story. So my darling, if you're among those praying that your mother-in-law dies before you get married, please, you need to change that prayer point, because not all mother-in-laws are bad. Oh yeah, not all mother-in-laws are bad. This is a typical example of the benefits of having a mother-in-law, but I don't want to go into that today. No, I don't want to go into that today. I'm just trying to tell you that marriage could be sweet, and in-laws could be, sweet as spices in marriage. They can add more flavor to your marriage. So don't think I'm here to threaten you. No. I am not threatening you. I'm only trying to prepare you to do the right thing, getting your marriage legitimate. All right, so I don't want to bore you with much stories, because I'm trying to keep this video brief, but we need to bring out the important things. So don't read this. The next point and the last point that I want to talk about is having a heart-to-heart decision with your fiancé. How you people want to keep your savings? Yeah, you want to run a joint account? Are you really sure you want a joint account? Darling, are you very sure? My darling. Oh, bros, are you really sure you want a joint account? Oh, my darling sister, I don't think you want to have a joint account. It might be advisable, but I tell you, it is also risky. But if you guys insist on having a joint account, make sure you have your private savings. It is very, very important to have your private savings, because having a joint account can be very risky. It can be very risky. It's more like you're putting all your eggs in one basket. You know what that means? If anything happens to that basket, you lose all. So if you guys are going to go into having joint accounts, please be sure that you are fully part and parcel of that. Be sure you're part of that account. If you're not going to be part of that account, don't have joint accounts. Because something happened. I was discussing with a lady. She and her husband, they were running a business together. It's so funny. When you hear people saying they have joint accounts, they don't really know what it means to have joint accounts. So it was when the husband died and the in-law came claiming everything, that her eyes opened, that what she thought she had with her husband as joint account is not joint accounts. She claimed they have joint accounts because the husband sends everything to his accounts. And as long as she's concerned, they have joint accounts. Until when something happened and the in-law made away with everything in the accounts, that her eyes opened. She went to bank and they told her no, it wasn't a joint account, it was her husband's account, and the brother is the next of kin. And besides, they said that the brother was not married. Unfortunately, the said woman doesn't have any issue. So sad that everything happened within few months of the wedding. So it wasn't a joint account, and she thought it was a joint account, not knowing that the husband was saving up everything in his accounts. And to her, his joint account. My darling, if you want to have a joint account with your husband, be part of that joint account. Otherwise, save your money separately. Oh yeah, it is not a sin. At least this is one of the things that the Bible did not really mandate on us. It didn't tell us how to save. Yeah, the man is the head of the family. You both can come, as one, bring out your savings and make any project or do any investment you want to do. But have your separate savings. Yeah. Do have your separate savings. So that you will know that when you want to make an investment, this is what you are bringing. Let me tell you another story. There was this couple that when this time around, this is not dates. No. They were separated. So when they were about separating, going their separate ways, they were once lovebirds, they were in the marriage, and they were making all the investments together. But when it was time to go their separate ways because there was problem and they cannot contend with it again, they want to go their separate ways. This man boldly, publicly, and was asking the woman, what did you contribute? What's the proof? I want proof. Bring out proof that you contributed in so thing, in this thing, in this thing, in this thing. He was naming their investments and was asking the woman to bring out the proof that she contributed, shamelessly. I want to tell you something. The woman doesn't have proof, but the woman was saying that every of her penny that she was earning was in that house they built, was in the car they bought, was in this one, was in that one, that even the children's school fees, she was part of it. But she doesn't have proof. So I'm just trying to prepare you. Some of this discussion, you may not really have it when you feel the time is not right. This is a discussion that you need to have with your partner when both of you can think straight and not selfishly. Because there are moments in relationship and prior to weddings that when couples, their minds are clouded with their selfish thoughts and selfish desires. So if you're bringing up some topics, it might be an error message, you end up getting an error message, an error response. If you bring up some topics at those moments, you get an error response. So know the right time to initiate these conversations. Remember, if you have a selfish or a crooked husband, he may have 1,000,001 reasons not to, accept good ideas. But don't forget, men are usually not the victims of broken marriages. Men are usually not the victims when marriages crashes, maybe by death or something. Women and the children are the most vulnerable. They are just the victims. So you need to get up, play the woman, and do the right thing, darling. Okay? Because I don't want you to suffer, and I don't want to see you crying tomorrow, and I don't want to hear your story and feel sad. I want whenever I hear about you, I'll feel happy and know that you're fulfilled. I want whenever I hear of you, it will be for good. So see me as a friend telling you the truth on how to get it right before you say, I do. And one more thing, don't forget, God hates divorce. So don't always opt in for divorce as an escape route. Talk about it. Fight the good fight. Put up the fight. Do it if you have to. Do whatever it takes and get your marriage straightened, working. So, peradventure you are already in a marriage, maybe you're cohabiting, and in the process you have children and you haven't done anything. Please, it is not yet late. If you love that woman, go and get that union legitimate. You can always go to court and have a court marriage. They are not after how many kids you guys have had already. Okay? Go and get that union legitimate. And if you are the lady watching this, Please, there is time to correct it. Get up, start talking, sit him down, let him understand if he loves you, he has to do this for you. Remember, I told you that when I was preparing for my wedding, notwithstanding all the drama, at a point I was giving up. Let's just go and do it the shortcut type. But my husband insisted, no, I will give you that marriage you want. That type of marriage, that type of wedding. You want a wedding redeem? I'm going to give it to you. You're going to have it. He was my superhero. And he did everything. Boom. To the last. So, if you love your woman, the best thing you can do is to ensure her stay with you. Always give her the assurance as long as she's with you that she's safe. As long as she's with you, she won't have any regrets. And stand to it and do it to the end. That is why you are lovebirds. Always reassure yourselves of your love. Don't forget that I am a lover person, okay? So whatever be it, truly and in, let your love stay strong. Find a reason to come back and seek solace in each other. Find a reason to come back to each other's arms and renew your love vows. And get your love kicking up once again. So till I come your way again, I'm still your darling Sophie, bringing you the realities of life on a very lighter note. And don't forget to click the subscribe button before you go. So bye and see you soon.